Yeah, good evening, all of you. And now, today, we are going to talk about certain modal auxiliaries. In our previous video lesson, we discussed what are the auxiliary verbs, how many auxiliaries are there, what are primary auxiliaries, what are modal auxiliaries, on what basis they are categorized into primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries, and what are the different characteristics of modal auxiliaries and what extra functions they have in a sentence, how they can refine and beautify your expression, and all that I have explained clearly to you. And in the previous video lesson, we have covered the uses of can. What is can? How to use can? What are the various contexts and situations in which we use can? Today, we are going to discuss could, because simultaneously, if you discuss can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, your understanding would be very clear. And well, before going to could, I want to tell you one thing clearly. You have to understand that though we say could is the past form of can, would is the past form of will, should is the past form of shall, and might is the past form of may. Though we say that these are the past forms, but they are not used for past tense alone. That's what we should clearly try to understand. You may think that since we have used the word past tense, you think that these four modal auxiliaries, what are they? Would, should, could, and might. These four forms are always used to refer to past tense. It's not so. These are used for present, for past, for future as well. Just like can, we have seen. Can is used for present and also used for future. Whereas could, being the past form, could can be used for past tense, but also for present and future. I shall try to give you more and more examples to make this point clear to you. You may ask me, sir, how can the same modal auxiliary could be used for past and future as well? Yes. Let me just tell you one example. I could not complete the work yesterday. Suppose I could not complete the work yesterday. నేను వర్క్ నిన్న వర్క్ కంప్లీట్ చేయలేకపోయాను. You are referring to a past situation. I could not complete the work. You are referring to past tense. I could do it. You are referring to past tense. I could complete the work, but I did not take interest. If I concentrated well, I could finish the work. I could solve the problem. I could pass the exam. I could secure distinction. Distinction secure చేసి ఉండేవాడిని, ప్రాబ్లం సాల్వ్ చేయగలిగి ఉండేవాడిని, వర్క్ కంప్లీట్ చేయగలిగి ఉండేవాడిని. I could, you are referring to a past situation. I could complete, I could not complete. I am sorry, sir, I could not complete the homework that you have given. నేను ఆ వర్క్ కంప్లీట్ చేయలేకపోయాను. I could not complete. You are referring to your past situation. And one more. I could swim. I could swim or I could run miles together when I was young. నేను బాగా యంగ్గా ఉన్నప్పుడు మైల్స్ టుగెదర్ అంటే మైల్స్ చాలా ఈజీగా పరిగెత్తగలిగి ఉండేవాడిని. I could, it means that I don't have that capacity now. Try to understand this point. If I say that I have the capacity even now, I can say I can run miles together. I can climb any number of steps. I can climb the tree so easily. I can, if I say I can, I'm using present tense. I have the capacity. Whenever you say that you have some capacity, you will use I can. But here you are using could. When you use could, you are referring to your capacity in the past, but you don't have that capacity now. Try to understand this clearly. I could swim across the river in no time. చాలా తక్కువ సమయంలోనే రివర్ను ఈ చివరి నుంచి ఆ చివరకు స్విమ్ చేయగలిగేవాడిని. I could climb any number of steps. ఆగకుండా నేను ఎన్ని స్టెప్స్ అయినా ఎక్కగలిగి ఉండేవాడిని అప్పట్లో. దట్ వాజ్ మై కెపాసిటీ. బట్ నౌ ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ దట్ కెపాసిటీ అని చెప్తున్నాను. అందుకని ఐ కుడ్. She could teach 3 to 4 classes at a stretch without any break. ఎటువంటి బ్రేక్ తీసుకోకుండా 3-4 క్లాసెస్ కంటిన్యూస్గా చెప్పగలుగుతుండేది. That was her capacity in the past. Now she doesn't have that capacity because she has become old. She needs rest from one class to the other class. So what I'm trying to say is, by using the word could, you are trying to talk about your capacity which you had in the past, but not now. You don't have that capacity now. You are referring to your capacity only in the past. అందుకనే చాలా వరకు ఏం చేస్తామంటే we are going to use some past indications అన్నమాట. We are making some context clear. అంటే అది పాస్ట్ అని చెప్పడానికి ఇండికేషన్ చేస్తాం. ఎలా? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, he could run long distances before he broke his leg. చూడండి, అతని కాలు ఇరగక ముందు చాలా కిలోమీటర్లు పరిగెత్తగలిగేవాడు. he could run long distances, but after he met with an accident or he broke his leg, he has lost that capacity. But before he broke his leg, he could run, miles together. He could run long distances. I could climb the tree very easily when I was a child. Within seconds, I could climb the tree. Now, I can't. I don't have that capacity now. It takes a lot of time for me to climb the tree now. So, context istunnanu ikkada. When I was a child, in my younger days, in my college days, when I was a college student, before he broke his leg, okay, I could not complete the work yesterday. We could not attend the party. I'm sorry, I could not attend the party because it rained so heavily in our place. చూడండి, I'm sorry, I could not attend the party. నేను పార్టీ అటెండ్ కాలేకపోయాను. I could not attend the party because it rained so heavily in our place, I could not come out. So, they could not complete the interview for all the candidates yesterday, because many candidates have come. They could not complete the interview for all the candidates who turned up. So try to understand this. Then you can see, you want to know whether somebody had some capacity in the past. Could you teach hours together? Could you ride a horse? Could you climb a tree? Could you climb steps so easily? Could you swim without break? Could you run 2 kilometers at a stretch? Could you walk for 1 hour without break? So you are trying to know whether that person had the capacity in the past. So that is use number one. You are referring to a past situation by using could. So can and could have got the same meaning. Can refers to capacity, could refers to capacity. But can refers to capacity in the present, the capacity or ability that you have right now. Whereas could refers to your ability in the past. You had some capacity, you had some ability in the past which you don't have now. So to indicate some ability you had, you will be using could. You had some ability, you did not have some ability. I could not complete the work. It means that you are accepting that I didn't have the capacity to complete the work. I could complete the work. You are saying that you had the capacity to do it. Right? Now, let us go to second use. Now, if you see this, you may ask me, sir, could you said that we will use for past? Fine, till now past. But now you see, you can use could like you use can. Can is used for taking permission, right? Similarly, you can use could to take permission. Then you may ask me, sir, what is the difference then? Can is informal, could is very formal, very polite. I can say the most polite form or the polite auxiliary verb is could in English language, which you can very comfortably use everywhere or anywhere to request somebody, to take permission from somebody. Maybe your superiors, maybe your higher ups, maybe your teachers, maybe elders, maybe strangers or anybody you can use. For example, you can ask, sir, could I have your phone number? Could I talk to you for some time? Could I use your mobile phone? Okay. Could I stay here for some time? Could I use your room? Could I talk to the chairman, please? Could I talk to the manager? Could you? If you are requesting, could you? If you are asking for permission, could I? Could I talk to you for a while? Could I use your mobile phone, please? I want to make an urgent call. Could I make a call from your phone? Like you are politely requesting, asking for permission. And you can request somebody by saying, could you please give me a lift? Could you please lend me some money? Could you please explain this? Sir, could you please give some more examples to explain this in a very simplest way? So you are trying to give more and more examples. Sir, could you permit us to leave now? Could you please continue one more session? Like you are requesting. Could you see, generally while we are asking for lift, could you please give me lift? If you say, can you, perhaps you may not give because you are not polite at all. When you say, could you, then automatically we'll try to stop because you are extremely polite by using the word could. Could you please? So you are giving permission. I mean, you are taking permission or you are requesting somebody in the most polite way. And you can use to grant permission also. Like for example, while using can, you can go now, you can use my mobile phone, you can wait here, you can talk to him, you can make a call from the office, you can come late, you can take leave, you can come half a day, like you are granting permission. Similarly, you can also use could. You could park your car here, you could wait here for some time, you could refer to that book, okay, you could use this computer, you could play in our garden, you could come late if you want. Instead of availing leave, you could come little late, you could avail 2 hours permission. You are giving permission. That way also you can do that. So that is one thing. So you can use could to take permission, to ask permission, and to grant permission. While giving permission, you can say you could go now, you could park your vehicle here, yes, you could talk to the chairman, you could ask all your doubts now. You are granting permission. And you can request somebody in the most polite way by saying, could you please lend me some money, or could you lend me some money please, or could you lend me your bike, and could you spare a few minutes for me, could you please explain this for me, could you please give me a lift, could you please help me with a cup of tea, could you please provide me some snacks. That's how you can use could. For most polite requests also you can do that. And similarly, you can use could to express probability. Probability అంటే ఏమిటి? సంభావ్యత. ఒక పాసిబిలిటీని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయడానికి కూడా మనం could. The news could be true. నిజమై ఉండవచ్చు. What he says could be right. And corona vaccine could come very soon. It could be introduced, or it could be it could be available for the people from December onwards. Like, that's how you can use it. Or probability, you can say, if you tried well, you could complete the work. If you worked very hard, you could get the distinction. Probability. So that's how you have different contexts. You can use could to refer to ability of a person or a capacity of a person in the past. What capacity he had in the past. And to take permissions and to grant permissions, number 3. 4, to request in the most polite way, and to express something in the, to express probability. These are some important situations where we use could. Okay, so that's all about could. So what you should try to do is, just knowing about what could is, how to use could, the purpose is not served. You have to read some situations wherein could is used. You should come across while reading. You should listen to people and observe how they are using could, maybe from newspapers, or maybe from news, or maybe from casual speaking, or maybe from speeches. You have to closely observe where and how they are using could. Then you will be able to understand, this is how I should use could. because this comes out of your practical knowledge. More and more you are exposed to it, more and more you come to know how to use it through reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Your understanding of different modal auxiliaries would broaden. Okay, that's about could. Now, today, let us see, let us take shall and will, because these two are very important words and most of them have got doubts about this also, because most of them keep asking, sir, what is the difference between shall and will? When to use shall and when to use will? Yes, that's a genuine doubt. So you can just keep one thing in mind. See, you have first person, that is I and we. So whenever you have I and we, you will use shall. Generally, this is the scenario. So whenever you have I and we with first person singular and plural, we use shall, and then we use will with second person, that is you, then third person he, then she, then it, and the plural is they with will. This is generally what traditional grammar says. Previously and traditionally, how we use is, we use shall with I and we, and we use will with you, he, she, it, they. Because whenever you use shall or will, you are trying to express future, futurity. I will come tomorrow. I shall attend the party. We shall have our dinner outside, or we shall have our dinner in a party. We shall meet tomorrow in the park. So that's how you are using shall and will. So we use shall with first person and we use will with second person. You will, he will, she will, it will, and they will. But we don't use you shall, he shall. We don't use. So be careful. You can always use shall with first person I, we, and you can use will with all the rest when you simply refer to the futurity. But you can also reverse them. How to reverse them? You can use will with first person I, we, and you can use shall with second and third persons with a different meaning. When you use shall with first person, future, will with second person, future. But when you reverse them, reverse means what? When you use will with first person, then what happens? You will refer to future. In addition to expressing future, you have something more to express. What is that more? You can express determination. What do you mean by determination? Determination means a strong decision. When you are strongly decided about something, we say it is my determination. I have determined. I am determined to do it. I am strongly decided to do this. For example, I will try to finish the work today. It means you are strongly decided to do it. I will. If you say I shall complete the work, you are not making any promise. You are not showing a serious determination. Simply you are saying, I shall try to complete the work. If it is over, fine. Otherwise, no. It's only future probability I am referring to. I shall. But By using will, you are trying to indicate that you have a strong intention. You have a strong intention. You have a strong determination to complete it. I will get distinction this time. I will try to complete the work. So you are very, very strong. We will not surrender. Under any circumstances, we will not surrender. And I will not, I will not do that mistake again. That's all. You have taken a oath. You are very serious about it. Just like it is your promise. Like, I will help you. If you say, I shall help you, there is no seriousness. But when you say, I will help you, you are very, very serious about what you are saying. It's your promise. I will complete it. So, when you promise to do something, I will return your money. Suppose you are owing money to somebody. That money lender comes and asks you, when will you return? If you say, I shall return next week, he is not convinced. I will. If you say, I will return next week, then he is happy because you have promised by using the word will instead of shall. So you can express strong determination or promise by using will. And you can also use will to indicate serious willingness. Suppose you have strong desire to do something, you are strongly willing to do something. I will help you. On your own, you are doing it. I'll complete the work. On your own, you are doing it. So whenever you are willing to do something from your side, you will say, I will do it. I'll finish the work today. It means that you are very serious about that. So you can also express threat, blackmail. I will see your end. I will not leave you alive. I will surrender you. I will hand over you to the police. So these are all threats. మనం ఎవరినైనా బెదిరించేటప్పుడు I will not leave you. I will see your end. Children often say, I'll not go to school if you don't buy me a chocolate. Blackmail. So it's a kind of threat. So that's how, instead of shall, when you use will with first person, you have all these things: determination, willingness, preference, promise, threat, and all these things you can express. Whereas generally you use will with second and third persons, but similarly you can also use shall with second and third person. When you use second and third person shall, they refer to orders and commands. Orders and commands. What do you mean by order and command? Like when you just order somebody to do something, you shall complete the work today. The work shall be completed. You shall obey my orders. You shall not escape means it's an order, you can't escape. You shall, it means you should. You shall obey my orders means you can't escape. Students shall not leave the hall before the bell rings. It's an order. Parents shall not meet the teachers. Parents shall not meet the teachers without the permission of principal. Shall not, it's an order. You shall obey my orders. You shall wear helmet, it's an order. You shall do what I say. This is an order. So when you just say order and command, you can use shall with these things. And you can also express a threat, like you shall be dismissed, you shall be suspended, she shall be fined, they shall be punished, I shall report the matter to the head office. So these are all threats. And you can also make a promise by using shall with second and third persons. Like how you can say, you shall be promoted. If you do honestly, if you work honestly, you shall be promoted. You shall be awarded. They shall be honored. She shall get bonus. These are all kind of orders. So when you reverse them, they have extra meanings. But one thing I want to tell you, that in the modern English, what we do is that since shall has become outdated, we have the convenience of using will with all. Today what we are doing is we are using will with all, that is I, we, you, he, she, it, they. With all you can conveniently use will, no problem. When you use will with first person, no issue, because you are expressing something more. Maybe it's a promise, maybe determination, maybe a threat, maybe some kind of extra meaning that you are trying to convey. There is no harm. But the harm lies in the second person. Generally you use will, but when you try to use shall with second and third persons, it gives some kind of misleading and misunderstanding kind of meaning. That is maybe order, maybe command. So instead of that, you better use will instead of shall, always with all, and then there is no issue. So keep in mind that you can conveniently use will to refer to future with all, no problem. And will also can be used to make requests, like will you please give me lift, will you please explain this to me, will you please come my home, will you please stay with me for some time. Like you can use all that. Will you please explain this to me so clearly. So that's how we will try to use will to express, I can say, requests. Will you please switch on the AC? Will you please turn off the tap? Will you please switch off the tap? Like that. So to make requests also, we can use, will. And one thing I want to tell you, in the interrogative sentences, I told you, you can use will conveniently with all, but only in the interrogative. Means while asking questions, you better use shall only with I and we. Only this point, if you can remember, enough. You can use will with all everywhere, no problem, but only while asking questions. Like, shall I come in? Not will I come in. Shall I do this? Shall I close the window? Shall I get in? Shall I do this? Shall we go for picnic? Shall we have some coffee? Shall we, do this now? So shall be, shall I. Only in the interrogative, use shall I, shall be. For all the rest, you can use will, no problem. Will he come tomorrow? Will she come tomorrow? Will it rain tomorrow? Will they arrive tomorrow? No problem. But you can't say will I. You can't say will we. You should say shall I, shall be. Only in the interrogative, remember, shall I, shall be. All the rest, everywhere, you can comfortably use will, no issue to indicate future. There is no problem with that. So try to remember, this is the difference between shall and will. Will can be used comfortably everywhere with all, except in one interrogative situation. Use shall with I and we. All the rest you can use will anywhere, no problem. That's all about the difference between shall and will.